So in this segment, we're going to be talking about Boris Johnson, the massive hypocrite. So Boris Johnson says girls' education is the key to ending poverty, and we'll talk about in a minute why he's a massive hypocrite. Before, first we're going to dig into this article, then we're going to talk about why the man's a massive prick. Boris Johnson says it's his fervent belief that improving a girl's education in developing countries is the best way to lift communities out of poverty. So the Prime Minister has announced MP Helen Grant as a special envoy for girls' education, for efforts to support girls' education. Is expected to be a key theme of the UK's presidency this year of the G7 group of major industrial countries. Obviously, it was the G8, but Russia got kicked out. It can change the fortunes for not just individual women and girls, but communities and nations. So this thing here, educating women in poorer countries is very important to Boris Johnson. So even before the pandemic, millions of children in developing countries did not have access to school, and girls from disadvantaged families, particularly vulnerable to missing out on education, whether through poverty or prejudice, which is absolutely correct. 12 years in school. The COVID pandemic has created even more barriers to education, with a peak of 1.6 billion children around the world facing school closures. Mr. Johnson, as Foreign Secretary and Prime Minister, had previously highlighted girls' education as a key to improving health, wealth and security of the poorest countries. This thing's so important to him. He once described it as the Swiss Army knife of development, as getting girls to stay in education could avoid early marriage, improve their chances of getting a job and provide more income for their children to be better fed. The Prime Minister said the international target of ensuring girls can have 12 years of good quality education would be the simplest and most transformative thing we can do to tackle poverty. The benefits of girls' education are enormous. A child whose mother can read is 50% more likely to live past the age of 5 and twice as likely to attend school themselves. With just one additional school year, a woman's earnings can increase up to a fifth, Johnson said. Global treat. Helen Grant, now the special envoy for girls, says high quality female education empowers women, reduces poverty and unleashes economic growth. I will be making it my mission to encourage a more ambitious approach to girls' education from the international community. Starmer saying that hosting the G7 should be a chance for the UK to act as a moral force for good, blah 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 blah. And you would think that that's important. You would think that would be important to Boris Johnson because of how much he keeps talking about this. But it wasn't more than a few months ago that the UK cut aid to foreign made cuts to foreign aid, and you could think, that doesn't make sense, does it? Foreign aid which goes to helping girls to get educated in foreign countries. You could think that, that's very strange, isn't it? Boris Johnson, a man who talks about the importance of educating girls in other countries, in poorer countries, has cut foreign aid. So the UK aid cuts announced by Chancellor Rishi Sunak could see 1 million girls lose out on education, nearly 3 million women and children go without life-saving nutrition, and 5.6 million children left unvaccinated, causing up to 100,000 deaths. Charities and aid experts and MPs have said they describe the slashing in funding to overseas aid from 0.7 to 0.5 of Britain's annual gross income as unprincipled, unjustified and harmful, just as a global health crisis is throwing a decade of progress on poverty, healthcare and education to reverse. But Boris, you said it was like what did you say? What was the phrase you used? A Swiss Army knife. So what you're saying is, instead of giving these girls the quote-unquote Swiss Army knife of education and food, You're cutting it, Boris. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Do you not care about these people? Do you want them to stay in poverty? After you saying that it's so important for these things to happen? In April, the UN's Food Agency warned of famines of biblical proportions in 2021 without billions in aid, and in August, the UN's Children's Agency reported an estimated 500 million children were unable to access learning due to coronavirus. And so the question we can ask ourselves is, this is a cut by Rishi Sunak. His boss is going to be so angry when he hears about this. Who's his boss? Boris Johnson. What? Wait, this guy, Boris Johnson, who talks about the importance of female education, that guy's his boss. Oh wait, yeah, he is. He's the Prime Minister, isn't he? And he's the one that, as much as Rishi Sunak has autonomy over these things, he could have sacked Sunak over this. It wouldn't have been the best choice to do, but he could have sacked him. If this was so important to Boris Johnson, he could have put pressure on Sunak to not do this. But what we can gather from this is, this what they have done by cutting this foreign aid budget will see 1 million girls lose out on schooling. 1 million girls will lose out on schooling because of this cut to foreign aid. Nearly 3 million women and children go without life-saving nutrition, and 5.6 million children left unvaccinated. And, you could be one of those people like, oh, we need to spend the money here and help the people in this country, even though you can do both. But there are, I think it's still about 1.8 million kids or 1 million kids, and it's a big gap between the two, without access to an electronic device. So where's that money gone? They're going to spend it here. They gave it to their mates. That's where the money's gone. So this is massively hypocritical from Boris Johnson, but I'm not surprised. I can play that Nate Diaz clip all day long when it comes to these guys. I am not surprised that the UK talks about the importance of educating girls as a way to end poverty while simultaneously cutting the funding to girls in other countries. I'm not surprised. Is anyone? The guy's a massive hypocrite in it all. He pushes this nationalism and all these things, but now he's saying that, we need to educate girls in other countries. That's the fastest way out of poverty. So which one is it then? If it's so important, why are you cutting it? You monumental fool. You fool. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.